or something out here in Korea, and that I followed him out here, obviously. But I decided to stay or something. She gotta tell y'all that story. So there are a couple of things that I didn't add into the story because I just wasn't sure if I wanted them there. But you all have been asking questions, so I'm going to add a few things into this story. So when I put the menace out of my home, after that, my mom and I went through my home top to bottom to find out whether or not the menace had hidden things in my home that he was trying to further frame me for. So in the guest room of my home, we did find rolled up dollar bills. So the menace was using my guest room to snort. I don't go into that guest room at the time. The only thing that was in that room was a bed. So there was really no reason to go in there, and we hadn't had guests. We had only been in Korea for 2 months and a few days at the point that I put the menace out. And I think we had probably been in my home for a month at that point. So there was really no reason to go in there. Also, I found where he hid his rug stash that was above my mirror in my master bedroom. My mirror pops out from the wall, and he was hiding things above it. So I found that. Also in the room where I used that room for storage, it was a room at that point of things that just weren't unpacked or I don't have a place for right now. There were things hidden in that room as well. A lot of those things, though, I did find when I was packing up the menace's items. So yeah, he had stuff hidden in like his items in that room. I'm not going to identify what I found. I don't need the Koreans coming and knocking on my door for a dang old thing. I don't need to be back on trial for nothing. Okay, but I did find additional things in my home from the menace. Also, people keep asking about the sister. The sister, where's the sister? Have I spoken to the sister? Blah, 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 blah. Where's the sister? No. The answer ultimately is no. In the beginning, she was contacting me about certain things. And just like, I really wish you guys could work it out. Okay. When the menace was spiraling, I did contact her. When he was doing all that stuff, like sending over information to the prosecutors and going to prosecutor meetings and doing all this stuff to frame me, I did contact her. I reached out to her, and she pretty much was like, I don't know what coming to me is going to do about it. I reached out to her to call me, and she declined to call and was just like, I don't know what reaching out to me is going to do about anything. You already got authorities involved on my brother, and CCTV footage has everything. Yeah, girl.
So how much did it cost to fill your tank?
Almost $100.
How much is the car payment?
$140.
It does. It has everything against your brother, including him smuggling drugs into Korea. So I don't know what the menace was telling her. She also made mention of my mom blocking the menace on social media. That never happened. To be honest, my mom, we were watching his social media because we were looking for evidence. We were going through everything, baby. We were looking for evidence. So that didn't happen. I'm assuming that he used that as a manipulation tactic with his sister to kind of be like, oh, like that was like my mom too. I don't know why she blocked me. I lost a other mom. I'm assuming that that's what he was doing. I don't know. That's alleged information. I'm not sure if that's what he was doing, but for her to bring it up, he must have been trying to act like that was so traumatic. That conversation ended, and that's pretty much it. I was being nice throughout that conversation because I didn't want the menace to be used against me in court. So I was just being nice, and I was just like, okay, yeah, whatever. I was pretty much like, you don't have the full story. Like, you don't really know at all what happened. But at the end of the day, I was like, okay, and we have since removed each other from social media. I have not heard from her. I have not heard from her since I posted this story. And no, I have also not heard from the menace. Don't care. I don't want to. I don't care.
Smoke out.
So also in my last part 35, for asking more questions about Sarah, the new girlfriend, one of the questions that I got asked is where my family is from. So a part of my family is Asian, and they're from Barbados. And so the minister was using that story of how my family got to the United States and pretty much telling her that he's Bayesian. So, yeah, that's how far his lies went with her. I also got a question of what was the menace telling the new girlfriend about me. The menace did everything else to do about this whole story. Flip the script. He's the victim. I'm the villain. And I
boring.
And all this stuff. Just pretty much flip the script. That's really what it is. But as I said, that's her story to tell. I cannot tell that story for you all. To you all. But, yeah. So I'm obviously in trial. I already showed you all the trial dates at this point. And they are subpoenaing the menace to court. Obviously, he's not there. That's what the prosecutors were doing. And obviously, he's not in Korea. So once they did that and the menace did not show up to court, we gave the evidence of what he was doing in the United States, in Chicago. So obviously now we're presenting evidence that the menace is still doing the same stuff in Chicago. Also, my lawyer got rid of all the documents from my first lawyer. So she had all that wiped out so that we could have a clean slate in this in trial. Because my lawyer wasn't doing anything. Like, he should have fought for me a little bit harder when the prosecutors were requesting that I had the highest punishment. He should have disputed that. He just wasn't doing anything. He was just letting the prosecutors pretty much run amok and run their life. So I would never all those documents. When I say get rid of those documents, I mean that she had them removed from evidence. So the judges could not see those documents. The prosecutor could, but the judges could not. Also, during this time, if you can remember the first prosecution meeting, the minutes made statements, I had a sofa up there who was pretty much an observer of the entire thing, a witness. I did go to that sofa up and I was like, hey, do you remember the statements in the first prosecutor meeting? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, it's somehow not in the documents. And he's like, what? I looked at the documents. It was there. I checked to make sure that it was there. He could read Korean. I could only read the English part, but he could read Korean. So what happened to that? I don't know, but he obviously ended up making a statement and saying that, I couldn't recall much of the information about the minute and the minutes did. So I also had that from my court file, my case file as well. And I also had someone from my job who came to court and testified in court as well. I don't want to put everybody's information out here because, I don't know who's watching, but yes, I do have someone who spoke directly to the minutes.
We've taken the lead.
Come testify for me.
UAV online.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So at this point, we're gearing up to my final court date. My final court date was to be held in January, and the sentencing was to be held in February of 2024. So we're gearing up for that. My lawyer is pretty much like, we won. Like, you can relax.
We've taken the lead.
The prosecutors believe you. The judges believe you. We won. There is a 98% chance that we won. She couldn't give me 100%, but she was like 98%. Like, we're going to be done with this. You're going to win the charges against the defendant, and you're going to win the charges against the outlaw principal. So we were like, okay, smooth sailing from here. We got all the evidence. And when I tell y'all, my case file is so big. It's so freaking big. We were like, great. Like,
goes this way.
Over. Like, we're finally kind of relaxing. So my lawyer is also telling me that this final court date is in January. She's like, we need to prepare. So we have to prepare really, really hard for this court date. I've been to the lawyer so many times. The translators are putting me outside because this is the day where I'm being questioned. So this is like, I have to have all my ducks in a row. My memory has to be on clear, day one. I have to remember everything. And so we're going over like all the questions that the prosecutors are asking, and we're going over all the questions that the lawyers are asking. So we're going over everything, and my lawyer's like, this is the final court date that's happening in January of 2024. This is very important. You have to make sure you show up on time. Mind you, I never didn't show up on time, so I don't know why she's like, what? She's like, you have to make sure you show up on time. You have to make sure you're there. This is the one. This is the final date. So this was drilled into my head that this court date was super important. This court date was also super important because we have to get everything in by next week. judges, the prosecutors all change. So if everything isn't in by that date, then my court would start all over. My case would start all over.
If you ever get frustrated that your acrylics dry too fast or your oil gets muddy, then this class is for you. I will teach you an incredible method for using acrylics for a quick underpainting.
Was, and then the next date was sentencing. So is into Korea. So that was pretty much, long story short, of what my testimony was, and then the next date was sentencing. So sentencing, I go to court for sentencing on July 10th. Also, y'all, I just wanted to clarify some things as well. When I first started the story, I was obviously still going through trial. You can tell from the days that I posted those videos. So when there was a pause break, I was still going through trial and didn't want to talk about what was going on in Korea until trial was over. At the time that I was posting those videos, I knew that trial was coming to an end soon, so I went ahead and started the story and then had a pause in it till trial was over. And then that's when I pretty much resumed telling this story. So just so you all have that timeline. But I walk into court and I'm standing up there for sentencing. The judges they started off and they were like, from the Menace's testimony, which the Menace gave a testimony to the prosecutors prior, they were referencing that, and they were like, the Menace's testimony proves that you were involved in smuggling fent to Korea. And so, y'all, when I tell y'all, when he said that, my heart sunk to the floor, like, oh shit, this is going bad, this is going bad, this is going bad. And so he ended up turning that around, and he was like, but from your testimony, from your witnesses, and from, you know, everyone else involved, and he listed off some of the evidence that I had in my case file, he was like, it is clear to us that the Menace was lying. So in the case for illegally smuggling fentanyl into Korea, not guilty. And I was like, thank you. Thank you so much. Like, I could have literally cried, okay? And so he goes on to the Adderall, and he says for the case of smuggling Adderall into Korea, from your education, from your work experience, from your job, we can tell that you're not a dumb girl. You could have easily researched whether or not Adderall was illegal in Korea, and yeah, pretty much guilty on that. And I was like, okay, I can accept that. Also though, like I said, Adderall's in Korea. You can get it from base. So I think, like, if my lawyer, she was a good lawyer, but she just didn't know the SOFA regulations. And I think if she knew the SOFA regulations, she would have been able to fight that a little harder. Like, she would always try to get me to look up the SOFA regulations to fight my case. And I was like, no, here's the regulation. You look it up. Like, you're the lawyer. Why am I finding stuff for you? And like I said, I wasn't really worried about that, and I wasn't really working hard on that. So that's what happened. I got not guilty on smuggling fent into Korea, and I feel like they felt like they had to give me something, so they gave me a slap on the wrist, and they gave me guilty for smuggling Adderall. So I was sentenced to 2 years in prison, and that prison sentence was reduced to 3 years of probation. So what probation means in Korea. I don't have a probation officer. I don't have any of that. I pretty much just can't get in trouble for the next 3 years. Also, if I want to leave and re-enter the country, I have to ask Korea for permission to do that. Obviously, before this trial and everything happened and I ended up having to shell out additional funds, my initial plan really was to resign from my position and go home immediately. But since this next set of trial and kind of everything surrounding it, I ended up having to shell out more money. I just was not completely prepared to leave the way that I wanted to, so I decided to stay. I want to go home. I want to visit my family. I do want to do all of that, but I just don't trust Korea to uphold their end of the bargain if they do say that I can return to Korea after leaving to go visit the United States. Because of everything that I went through, I just don't trust that, so I haven't left yet. My contract is up in February, so that's when I'm going to leave. I am just, at this moment, saving up money and plan to get out of here then. Also, after the final trial date, my lawyer was consistently telling me that I need to appeal for the decision for my prescription medication, and I was just like, no. I have no reason to appeal. That makes no sense. It doesn't hurt me in any way. No. And they pretty much begged me to appeal, and obviously me appealing would mean that the lawyer gets paid again to go through trial again, and my entire time being in Korea would mean that I would be on trial, because as you can see, trial takes a long time and it takes 5 to 6 months. So also during this time, they were trying to convince me to appeal, and they were saying that the lawyer could write a letter to the courts. If I appeal, the lawyer can write a letter to the courts and request that I go home to visit my family. So, obviously, I was pissed, because you need to tell me that that was an option this entire time, and all this time that I've been asking to go home to visit my family, you all have been saying no, that it's not possible, and now all of a sudden if I appeal the court, now it's possible? No. Yep, that's where we're at. I'm just preparing to leave in February. And I can't get in any more trouble, but I don't do anything in Korea anyway to get in trouble, so that's what it is. If I get in trouble, then I'll be retried for all the other charges that happen. So, yep. Now we're going to get into some of the evidence and the documents from court.
You don't know about Snap 4. This beautifully designed, incredibly thin, magically magnetic, spinning grip. This little bad boy slays all of these other one-trick grips. Snap 4, charger, boom. You can charge straight through it. Yep, that's a bomb. Snap 4 works for all you Apple haters too. Here's an Android with a MagSafe charger.
So here is one of the court documents, and I'm gonna keep scrolling, but you can pause to read. But basically, it is talking about how the witness's statements are inconsistent or contradictory, and it also talks about how the witness said during his meeting with the prosecutors that I got into his email and got his father's personal information and forged his father's medical documentation. But then it goes on to say that's pretty much impossible, because how would I know the date of his date of birth, date of death, reason for passing? Like, there's no way I would know any of that without the menace. So it goes on to say that. So this is talking about the menace's statements in the prosecutor's office, and it talks about the text messages that I mentioned, and it said, in the prosecution meeting, the menace said that he had never given me painkillers or fent, but then also turned around to submit text messages that asked me did I want perk. So they finally saw this and realized this, and yeah. It also goes on to say that the menace said that I took fent regularly and that I had given him fent. So yeah. I blocked out a lot of the information because it is talking about witnesses' statements and people from his past, and it would be identifying information if that was in here. So that's why a lot of that information is blocked out, just to protect those witnesses. But yeah, it's also going on to say that he clearly was involved in illegal drug activity because he was arrested prior to coming to Korea and also after. coming after leaving Korea. It also talks about how my doctor also submitted statements for me as well, and my doctor pretty much said that I have never been involved with drugs, and I have been with that doctor since I believe like 2016 or 2015, so that's also good. Can this doctor say that? I doubt it. So you can pause to read, but this one pretty much talks about how it is strongly suspected that the menace gave me vent as Percocets. And it also goes on to talk about the incident, the other court case that we had in Korea where the menace broke into my home and stalked me and stole things from my home. And it also just goes on to say that the menace has pretty much been lying since he arrived to Korea. Also, y'all, this was translated in a translation app, so a lot of the times when it says he, it's referencing me. I'm the defendant, but it says he. A lot of times it should say she. Their translation doesn't translate to she. So this one is pretty much talking about when we arrived to Korea, and it's talking about the fent being found in my bag, and it's pretty much saying, like, if I had known that I was doing something illegal, I had time to throw things away, to get rid of things, or to leave the airport. But my actions at the airport did not prove that I knew I was doing something illegal. So me waiting in the waiting area, going back into the airport and, checking on him and everything, it just doesn't make sense that I would do that knowing that I was doing something illegal. So that's pretty much what this is saying. And then it's just like, in conclusion, there's really not enough evidence to prove that I committed a crime. So y'all, don't mind my laundry in the back, but that is finally the end of the Menace saga. Finally. So I do have a live scheduled. I'm going to get on live next week, Saturday, 8 a.m. my time. So that's like Friday night y'all's time. I don't know, y'all are going to have to look that up, but it is scheduled. I think you can see the link in my bio. So that will be the final live that I do, answering questions about the Menace. Any lives after that, I will no longer answer questions about the Menace saga unless there are updates of some sort. So yeah, that is it, y'all. I'm finally done. We can get to just get on with life, and I don't have to relive this anymore after Saturday of next week. Thanks. Thank you for sticking around, and thank you for like the new supporters and the new cousins that I have, my new TikTok fam. So y'all, I just thank y'all for the support, for real, and I just thank y'all for sitting here through this long story time. I know I'm the most horrible storyteller, but I try to get it out. I was in trauma. No matter how many times I tried to re-record videos, it just never came out right. So that's just what it is, but it's over, y'all. So y'all wanted to know who the Menace is, and here's the reveal. I told myself I was never going to post the reveal.
Ooh, she posted a picture of him.
Post the reveal, but my intuition has been screaming at me these last couple of days to post this reveal. It's actually been kind of telling me to post everybody, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. But I'm trying my hardest to follow God and to follow what He needs for me to do in these times. Stay tuned to the end because I will be showing additional photos. But here we go. This is Dennis McKinley King Jr. That is my home in Washington, D.C. that he has gone off to lie to other people and tell them that that was his home in Washington, D.C. If you look back on some of my older videos, you can see when I moved into that home, and you can see me doing an apartment tour because that was my dream apartment, and I had finally reached that milestone in my life. This is another photo of Dennis McKinley King Jr. This is a photo from The Day I Was Graped by Dennis McKinley King Jr. This is also another photo from Dennis's body from that night.
The most affordable 12-month GLP-1 program with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy. For one payment upfront, 12 months of weight loss by hers includes 1 weekly injection, app content to help you achieve your weight loss goals, and 24/7 message.
Now those, especially the scratches on his arm, are clearly defensive wounds. And the thing that gets me about those photos is just how weak I was. If I really, truly was biting someone or like scratching them, I promise you I can do way more damage than that. And those photos really show me just how much I was trying to pull out any possible strength that I had to get him off of me. This is me all dolled up before meeting the menace. Me on a chill day before meeting the menace. Crocs, sweatpants, a onesie. Also me before the menace. This is me during the menace in South Korea. If you can see over on my arm, there's a lighter area there where I've covered up bruises with makeup. Look at my eyes. Just take a moment to look at my eyes. This outfit choice is also not something I would have put together. When I tell y'all that a narcissist will literally suck. I was tired of looking at that picture. A narcissist will literally suck and drain the life out of you. I don't know who that person was. I have absolutely no idea who that was. They will suck every ounce of beauty from you. Anyway, let's go into who I am now. This is me a few months ago. Also still going through trial, but thriving, to say the least. At this point, I know that I'm okay. This is me on my birthday, just a couple of months ago. I don't know why I'm being led to reveal this and reveal his name, but I am trying to walk in the path that God wants me to walk in. I'm trying to do what I feel like he is telling me to do. So that is DJ or Dennis, whatever you may know him as. That is the man who literally wreaked havoc in my life and others.
What to do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. We back in the confessional. Yes, we staying lit, big dog, man. Shout out to my everyday people who survived Dennis with me. Oh Lord, it's been a long day, hasn't it? Thank you, man. I hope y'all hit that link down below for howmylabs.com, because I know y'all sat on y'all's ass, ate chips and dip and everything else and leftovers from last night and all that popcorn and snacks and watched this 6-hour marathon. And yeah, we got to it. And now y'all can go tomorrow and exercise, get off your big ass back and go run it. Okay? Dig that back. Alright? Look at that. That's just crazy. Alright? Hit that link down below, man. Use the discount code EverydayPJ on checkout, man. Now, what do y'all think? We give y'all my synopsis. I was gonna do this live, but actually I'm gonna go chill afterwards, because gotta go to work early in the morning. But I'm gonna tell y'all what. this right here.
Oh my gosh. Trying to put this sentry gun up.
And recurring injuries. Foam rolling, stretching, and trips to the physio might help you feel good in the moment, but they are not going to make you strong, mobile, and resilient. You need to strengthen the joints, build strength through a full range of motion, and build the strength to actually move out of alignment. This way, not only will your tightness and recurring injuries disappear now, but they won't keep constantly coming back, so that you can do the things you love without feeling limited in your body. My name is Vanya Moves, and here at Moves Method, we are the leading mobility experts that elite athletes, fitness enthusiasts, and performance-driven people turn to when tightness, stiffness, and injuries come in the way of their physical progress. We don't focus on temporary relief. We don't rely on stretching, foam rolling, or tedious activation. Our approach is real mobility training.
What?
With lasting resilience.
Oh, I suck for that. I really suck for that.
Strengthen the joints, ligaments, and tendons. It will build strength through your full range of motion, and it will help you stay active and reduce setbacks. And it's
What the
proven
hell is
it's helped.
playing? Shut up.
It's a wild roller coaster. Now, I've seen some
We gonna lose.
comments where people say
Maybe not.
she's been
Maybe
called some
positive.
lies. And I'm not gonna say that she's lying
Yo.
or that she's leaving the stuff out or that she's was in on everything because it would just be harsh to take away the truth. But what I will say is that there are some things. Oh, and I get why she called him the Menace. Dennis the Menace.
Enemy in
That
sight.
is wild. Dennis the Menace. Anyway, so shout out to Dennis the Menace. Alright. So yeah, what was I damn? I was gonna say, to say that she was in on all this, I don't think so. But I'm just trying to figure out how you couldn't get away. Like,
Did
there's
you
one
not
thing-
hear about the roots? Like, niggas don't listen. Like, open up your ears. Like, she explained that it was witchcraft and voodoo put on her. Like, doy, stupid. You stupid. Alright, well, let's see. Deadbeat dad returns 10 years later. Wife who slept with cousin is back. What?
This is my favorite meal hack that's quick and easy, and it only takes 10 minutes. These meal soup dumplings come with 50 dumplings in each bag, and steamer liners are included. All you need to do...
First, there's the topic about the prodigal father who returned home after 10 years of hardship. Then there's the food stamp hustlers of TikTok. And lastly,
Alright.
we talk about the wife whose fine husband got away. You know who I'm talking
One
about.
more
And if you're wondering,
game
I'm
or
talking
so,
about
then a break.
and 10. And if you're wondering who the hair weave killer is, that is the prodigal father. Lastly, we have Stephanie Thompson,
Why is my
the
nose
leader of the Resilient Jenkins, with an update. So what's up, my friends, and welcome back once again to the Just Case and Friends.
Blah, blah,
Your
blah.
homegirl, I'm your Thea, I'm your Rima, I'm your cousin, I'm your friend, I'm whatever you need me to be down here at the Just Case and Friend. If you're not already a member of the Neighborhood, please do so by clicking subscribe. If you are a member of the Neighborhood, then you already know kind of what these hood news topics are, because we done talked about Renee and Stephanie in the past. If you want to get caught up on them, look in the description box. I'll put some links in for you because it is juicy topics. Now, the hair weave killer is a fella from St. Louis. Let's get into him. On Twitter, the hair weave killer goes by Jimmy Darmoody. And no, I ain't talking about the character. He doesn't got no character traits like the character. Let me not get ahead of myself. He's a Twitter user from St. Louis who often posts about the kind of woman that he wants. He retweets them so you can see what his desires are. And a majority of the women are very much so Instagram models, the kind who are out of his league. Now, along with this, Mr. Hair Weave Killer also has 2 sons who he posts about. They each have their own mother, and we know this because he posts about it. There was one tweet where he was talking about how he went over to his son's house to go ahead and put up the Xbox game for him, and he just wishes his other son would be closer to him because he loves being a daddy so much. Then there was one tweet where he said he wishes he had a daughter. It seemed like he was trying to say, listen, I already got my boys, I just need my girl to complete my tribe, then I got enough. And when you look at him, he is the kind of black man you'd be like, oh, okay, he's nice looking, he might be a nice guy, he's a good father.
Wow.
A little shaky on what his Twitter posts to be about, but other than that, okay. See you on the yearning to have a daughter, sharing lewd content to display what he wants and desires, and patted himself on the
I need my
back for
smoke
being the
back.
father of 2 sons and a baby daddy to 2 women. He was also missing in action as his 10-year-old daughter grew up for the last decade without him. You heard me right. While he was tweeting about how bad he wanted a daughter, he already had one. A few days ago, Mr. Interview Killer announced that after so long, he was able to finally see his baby girl. He just had to take a journey from St. Louis to Kansas City. St. Louis to Kansas City, a 3-hour trip. He said he was away from his daughter for 10 years because they were so far apart. Let's get it. He posted that little picture of him and his
That was stupid.
This is the best day of my life.
Enemy contact.
He didn't even know he had a daughter. And as the reporters on Black Twitter go to do it, after so many people talk about, oh, good job, you're finally in the daughter's life, congratulations, it's so good that you're in your daughter's life, they were like, where were you in your daughter's life for 10 years? St. Louis to Kansas City, that's a 3.5, maybe 4-hour trip? 10 years? So you must not have knew about the mother, right? He gets to tweeting back. He's like, you know what, I'll give Black women an opportunity to feel the feelings that they have from their childhood because this was probably them. They probably grew up fatherless, so I will let them criticize me as they will. Everyone,
Wow.
listen, I didn't put this up here for you to judge me. I put this up here because I was joyous and I was happy at the occasion. And just as anybody does who put their business on the damn internet, what does this man say? It's really none of y'all business what the story is between me and her mother. Just know that we didn't get along and I was going through so much, so I had to be there for her. I had to take time for me time to be a good dad to her later on in time. Debbie, who also has 5,000 followers on Twitter, began to repost the negative comments about himself. In between posting some sort of quotes that he was trying to give other deadbeat daddies. In between reposting those same type of women on his page over and over and over again. And anybody with common sense who looks at his thread, you can see, oh, he wouldn't see this boy, he wouldn't see his daughter just to put it on the internet to say he was doing something. This boy wanted attention. He thought he was going to put it on the
Dummy.
internet and everybody was going to be like, oh.
Woo! Yeah, let's get it.
Because you had a baby.
Let's get it. 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 Okay, I don't know what she's talking about. But she's getting on my nerves.
Lost the lead.
For your guts. For your guts. Woo! Got your mans though. Got your mans though. All right, we at this point. The score. Oh, that's not gonna help. Whoa, whoa. Lost my bearings. Golly. It's over. We lost this game. I know. We really sucked, and that's not the goal. How could we let this team beat our ass this way? We gotta win the next game. Hey, hey. Shit sucks. That shit sucks. Like, what? Alright, I gotta switch some things on here. And I'm trying to get my screaming my streaming up. But I realized I didn't put no freaking tags on this, so that's crazy about me. That's crazy about me. I think, let me check my dashboard. Anyway, let me get out of here.